guys, Halima LaPlante here, Wild Wolf Mama. And I wanted to come on here because I wanted to talk a bit about boundaries, personal boundaries. This is something that I have been exploring almost since the beginning of my human design experiment when, I really had to start figuring that out, especially as with a manifestor child who I'm supposed to allow do whatever he wants. I quickly realized that doesn't mean whatever he wants, because there are some things that are just not okay. Like, he can't cross these boundaries. There has to be some rules. And so I've been working with that. I've been working with it with myself, with my children, allowing them to be able to set their own boundaries and decide and discover what their needs really are, And so lately, we've been coming across some resistance from the outside world. People are not okay always with anybody really putting up and enforcing boundaries, right? When you've lived your life putting others first. Well, I have this thing here. That's the problem with putting others first, is you've taught them that you come second. I wrote that down years ago, and I've had it taped to my computer ever since. And it meant a lot to me then, and every day it means more and more, like the deeper it goes, right? And so when you start to really put yourself first, really start to discover your own needs and your edges, other people who have counted on you not having those boundaries, whose entire existence has been you not having these boundaries, they get their panties in a bunch, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they just get little rumpled feathers, and that's par for the course. I've lost some people along the way, and it's been sad. There's been grief along the way, but I noticed that in particular with children, people have a problem when children try to put up their boundaries and try to say, this is my needs and this is okay and this is not okay. Like, adults are like, no, that is not how it goes. You don't get to tell me no. I'm the adult here. As if somehow just being an adult means that you can do what the fuck you want. No, not me, not my kids. I'm not raising them to be like that. The thing that is, it's also teaching me these boundaries and setting these boundaries is how deeply I still care. The solar plexus, the not self question is, am I avoiding confrontation and truth? And someone once told me that she didn't feel like I was a person who avoided confrontation and truth. And that stuck with me because it didn't feel entirely true. I do avoid things. I have. But simply for the fact of putting others first, above my own needs, above my own comfort, my own ability. Because I don't want them to be upset. I don't want to rumple their feathers or get their panties all in a bunch and all that. You know what I'm saying? I want everything to be copacetic. I want everything to be happy and joyful, right? Yes, I want to be happy. Let's have fun. Let's do that. That sounds great. But what's happened is I've discovered that along the way of holding these boundaries and catering to these other, people the way they have in the past, they do get upset. And then in my head, what happens, I go directly into my brain. My mind starts going. It's like, oh, well, you should have said it this way. Oh, you should have done this. And oh, like what could have happened if you had just done this? And I start spiraling and my mind starts running through just like a multitude of scenarios, of possibilities that could have happened. And it's not something that goes on for like 5-10 minutes. It's not something that goes on for a day. Like this can go on for like a week or more. And I'll just keep coming back to it and running over the scenario over and over again. Like, how could I have done this differently? How could I have somehow smoothed the transition over so that they aren't so put off by my choices, so that they could accept it more, they could be happy. Oops. But in the end, I started to realize I'm doing the same shit as I was doing before with James. I'm making their emotional well-being my responsibility. And it's not my responsibility. Not only can I not control how they choose to take my words, like I can't control that. I can't fix that. I can't wave a magic wand and they just get it the way that I want them to get it. I can't do that. First. Second of all, knowing that, once they've heard it, once they've processed the words, their body or whatever emotional life, whatever happens next, I can't be responsible for that. I just can't. Because it's not mine. If I could control it and wave that magic wand, like I said, I would. But I can't. But people tend to want you to be responsible for what's going on inside of them. And they say as much. Like, oh, we got told we were always a problem. Like, why do we always have a problem? Well, maybe we don't. Maybe the problem is you. And I can't fix that, because if you can't even see that what's happening inside of you is yours, not mine, I can't even begin to help you to navigate that. Furthermore, clearly, by the simple fact that now I'm going to go off and have a fucking spiral for the pet next week, worrying about, what you're saying, how you're thinking, like how I could have done it better and all these other things. Like I have enough on my plate to deal with my own shits without having to add yours to it. Like there's no room. Like there's no growth for me there, because I gotta get your shit fixed and mine? Like, I don't know. It's so easy for me to just focus on the other. And I can't do that anymore. Like, it's exhausting. And I've been watching that happen, writing about it, and realizing that boundary setting is creating this spiral, which is bringing me down. It's keeping me energetically at a lower frequency. It's keeping me away from joy and shine and just ease and lightness and I used to have this acting teacher, and at the end of class, she would always end class, she would say, have a sensorial. And lately, I've been choosing to let that shit hold me down, to just let it weight me. And now I see why that had to happen, right? Like, why I had to spiral. Why I had to go through all of that. And I'm not saying I'm going to stop caring when people have those moments. Like, that's not going to affect me, because I think I'm always going to have that. Maybe it's a superpower. But I know now that I need to find a way to lighten it. That I need to find a way through it faster. To not let my whatever goes on up here weigh me down. Even if it does go on, like, just to be able to just like, wow, ooh, just like, ooh, just watch it like a fucking movie. Something. When I was a kid, me and my mom would get into fights, and I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up and it was out of my head. Like, what happened to that? Like, I was such a joyful, happy little child, just a happy little thing. And then somehow she became an adult and just teenage years or something. And everything became so fucking real and so heavy and just like mattered. Oh, it mattered. Oh, how the matter mattered. I remember a time in my 20s when I had this experience of incredible lightness, like my consciousness went out into space. And it's not the first time, like, it's like whenever my consciousness goes out into space. But this was, my consciousness went out into space. But not only that, it went outside of human causality. It was like existing outside of life. I don't want to say life. I don't know how to explain it. But it was like the heaviness of existing was no longer weighing on me. I mean, I could look down and I could see it, and I was completely indifferent. Completely indifferent. And I was like, this is it. This is where I want to stay. I want to stay here. But no, I had to come back. Something told me, I mean, literally something or someone or some being, some entity told me, no, this is not where you are meant to be right now. It's not your time now. And I had to go back into it. And as I came back down, it was like it was like an atmosphere. Oh yeah, it was like an atmosphere of now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to say emotional energy. And that's where we live. Like, we live there. This is like here where we live in this physical world, And I was sad to come back to it, but a part of me understood that that's where I needed to be in order to get the lessons that I needed. And it's true. Because without those emotional pressures, if you don't learn to sit with them and be with them, there's nothing. There's no lesson. There's no awareness. There's no awareness. Damn. There's no awareness. I've been feeling it as a pressure. But the solar plexus is an awareness center. It helps you to become aware. And now I see these people who are unable to respect your personal boundaries as they come, who count on you not having boundaries. First of all, and this can be a whole other discussion, somebody taught them that it's not okay to have boundaries, and that wounds you, that traumatizes you. That's probably called gaslighting. So they are wounded, and they are trying to protect themselves. Like, I get it. You're trying to protect yourself because you've been hurt in the past deeply. And the idea of looking at yourself is so hard, and it's so scary because you're going to die if you really look at yourself. Sure. These people who count on you to not have those boundaries so that they can exist as they do and keep treating you as they do. These people are going to fall away the more you hold and honor your own boundaries, and they have to. There's no other choice. You cannot hold on to these people. Do not try to hold on to these people. If they're meant to fall away, they're going to fall away, because it's going to free you to lift up a little bit higher in that emotional sphere, awareness of life. And allow you to shine. And allow you to experience joy, to experience awareness, to grow and learn. They have to have their own journey, and that's fine. But if you hold on to that, you're only doing yourself a disservice, because you already know who you are when you're with them. What you need to learn is who you are when you let them go. Because those people are not a reflection of who you are. They are a reflection of your conditioning. And in this journey, this human design journey, you're letting go of all conditioning. And sometimes that means entire people have to go, so that you can unearth, discover, and love, fall in love with who you are. And I'm saying that to you, but I'm really saying it to myself, this one right here. Because she's kind of awesome, you know? And she hasn't always been loved the way that she should. And that's my fault. I can blame myself for that. I allowed that. I did that to myself. But I am not going to continue to do that. And I am not going to take on other people's emotional baggage anymore. Like, that's yours. I can definitely guide you on how to navigate that. And it's quite an adventure. It's quite a journey. But I'm not responsible for it. And I'm tired of doing it. And maybe being connected to that fatigue is what I need in order to let it go. I don't have a motor. I don't have any of those motor sensors. No ego, no solar plexus, no sacral, no root. Everything else is defined. So that's what I'm here to learn about, that energy. I've been really connecting with my own fatigue. And thinking about, oh my God, how could you say that? Do you know how that makes me feel? Like, yeah, I know how it makes you feel. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm tired. So it's not mine. Maybe that's it for me. When I feel that tiredness, when I have that energy come in and I'm just like, oh no, that's my authority telling me, no, that energy is not for you. Do some breathing, close my eyes, write it, journal about it if I need to. And just know that it's not mine. And I don't need to own it. So boundaries, just this one thing. Learning what my boundary, where my boundaries are, what they are, how to stick to them. And it doesn't have to be aggressive, right? Just like, no. And then just being quiet. Like, I don't need to do anything else. And that's the thing. That's the next thing that I've been discovering. And from there, understanding that if it's not for me, it will just fall away. Like, that's fucking magic. I don't have to do anything. Just hold my boundaries. And allow it to flow, to go. And enjoy the joy. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And check out my latest blog post over at www.wildwolfmama.com. Are we still saying www, or are we just saying wildwolfmama, MOMMA.com? And if you'd like to book a session with me, you don't know anything about human design, you kind of want to check it out, you don't know what your design is, you don't know what, maybe you've gotten your chart and you don't really know what all the different parts mean, let me know. Hit me up. I am happy to explain the best of my ability to what that is. This is what I'm studying. This is what I love. This is what I'm excited about. This is what I will eventually end up probably doing. So thanks again, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.